We're going to talk about abstraction today and why it's useful and helpful for sketchers to include it in their arsenal. Let's go. There was a period in my life where I was exploring abstraction. These are the books I have in my library. I went through, all of them, and I read through, and I, study the meaning of abstraction and in art and so on and so forth. But there's a couple of books that stand out, and they were not from the abstraction books that I have. This one specifically taught me about how to simplify birds in the sky. Well, this book is by Dominic Di Stefano, and when you look at the birds that he painted in the book, they were really, really simple, almost like a V or some kind of a flattened V, if you like. And then when I looked at Hazel Sohn, I have a lot of her books, The Essence of Watercolors. It's the same thing. When she looks at the sky, the buildings, they almost simplify to a simple shape, right? So what clicked for me was this idea that you don't have to sketch realism. You don't have to sketch realistically. You just have to give the essence or the lines or the colors or texture or whatever it is that you use to represent the idea that you want to sketch, and ultimately it becomes a symbol. But in between realism and symbol, there is somewhere there where you are abstracting, if you like. Okay, let's take this beautiful picture of which I took from Brighton in the UK, and let's just zoom in to the seagull. So let's do 3 different sketches. The first one, we will try to be as realistic as possible. Of course, it would take a little bit more time, a little bit more detail, and hopefully I'm being accurate with the outline of the seagull. So as you can see, I will be I'll try to be very realistic. Hopefully I got the angle, the shape, the size, and so on. Various mistakes there, but you get a point of what it means to be a little bit more realistic in your sketch. It does take more time if you want to put all those details in there. You start with a contour, and then you fill in the details, and then I look at the values and I try to hash a little bit where I think it requires more ink. So that's sketch number 1, to illustrate the fact that I put a little bit more details to create a bit of a realism in the sketch. Now the second sketch I want to do is to abstract a little bit, and I'm not going to put in as much detail. I'm going to just focus on what I think could represent the seagull in as few fewer lines and fewer shapes, if you like, and fewer detail. Badly drawn, but I think you get the idea that with a couple of strokes, you could actually, get that sketch in. Now the third one is even more abstract than the second sketch. Basically, it's a flattened V, or maybe if you like, it's like a reverse L. And I think if you look at the 3 sketches, you realize that there are levels of abstraction, right? And in that sense, you could continue to abstract even further, but at some point you lose, the essence of it, and nobody recognizes what you're sketching. And it becomes somewhat of a Jackson Pollock sort of doodle. But I guess one of the things that sketchers can try really is to use abstraction and put it in their arsenal. 1, it saves time. 2, you can tell the story in a very simplified way. And it's just one technique of observation and simplification. Let's look at another example. FrankWebb, one of my favorite artists, he passed on in 2022. Some of his paintings are just the master stroke of abstraction. They are, sorry for the blurred image, but these are from the internet, and you could see that the way he abstract them is just amazing. So I hope that inspire you to think abstraction and reduce complexity and reduce realism in your own sketches, and I'm sure it will help because it will save time, but it takes a bit of practice, a bit of work, a bit of thinking, a bit of cultivating the inner creativity in order to better each time. So that's all from me this time around. I hope you enjoy this episode. Take care and stay safe wherever you are. Bye for now.